Ladies and gentlemen, COD Ireland returns. Annex Armada versus Phntm National. Today's matchup here, Division 2 Group B of the COD Ireland League. We are back, baby. Going to be an absolutely fantastic game. Really looking forward to getting into this one. It is a pleasure to be back, bringing more COD Ireland content, more league games, and it's such a pleasure to be doing it this time around. Finally, after a year of hogging the spotlight, some would say, that cast can't get enough attention, I'm eventually passed the baton, shared the burden, the brunt of the load with my co-caster here this evening. It is Lenny Beats on the mic,
back.
on the screen. Lenny,
We're back.
how are we doing, man?
We're doing good. We're doing good. It feels good to be back, Sep. Finally, if it was a long off season, it's good to be here. It's good to be here. It's good to be watching some Division 2 action.
Yeah, I mean, like that. This is the thing, you know. One thing we've often talked about, you know, from the admin perspective going into this season, is that the talent seems pretty stacked this season. What we're seeing across the divs, like, yes, of course, you have that little bit of variety, you know, as you will with any sort of more community-run league. It's not packed with as many people, which means it is harder to get that balance of making sure there's an even spread across the divisions. But you know, even the top leagues, you know, they struggle with that anyway. But you know. But you know, it has to be said about Division 1 and Division 2 that there are certain the subsections within the divisions. You could almost argue the entirety of Division 1. There's such a level of competition.
I don't think it's been more stacked, to be honest. Like, just obviously, as admins going through the team list before, you know, everything kind of got underway, it's just like, wow, like these guys, you know, we haven't had this much competition. Even looking at last season, as you said, there was a bit of a, I don't want to say a gap, but you could clearly see there was, you know, some teams were just another level. But it's very hard to pick a winner looking at the teams there in Division 1 at the minute.
Yeah, absolutely hard to pick a winner, which makes it far more entertaining to watch. And we're going to take a really quick look as well at our teams this evening, folks. Roster 1 here, Annex Armada, coming at you live from the COD Ireland League. It is Dan, Gleeball, Jack, actually Bixie, my god, I can't even read it. I have that small on my screen. And then it could have been Big H, but it's actually a replacement player hopping in today. One of the very own Hunter hopping in for Annex Armada.
Boys.
Yeah, one of the Flux lads trying to share the burden of Division 2 even further. What do you got to say about these guys? You know much about them going into it?
Jack and Bixie I wouldn't be too familiar with, but obviously Hunter, great player, only fresh out of a league match about 30 minutes ago, so his gun is still hot. Yeah, so he was buzzing to fill in for big hoods. Dangly Ball returning from last season. He was with the Phntm boys last season, and I think it was Deny Gaming he played with in the penultimate season last year. But yeah, great, good side, good shot on everybody there, good tactic. So exciting to see the matchup, to be honest.
Of course, on the other side as well, you have Phntm National coming through. Det Boyle, Matt, Jaden, and Tithes. At least I think that's how you pronounce that name. I'm always terrible with them. But, you know, not a side to be underestimated themselves either.
No, definitely not. Again, Det Boyle and Matt, and Jaden, I think, as well, coming back from last year. Those trio, I know they've been together for a good while. Yeah, sound lads. So should be a close matchup. Everybody knows each other. Everybody's friends. So there'll be a bit of a rivalry, I'd say, as well. Should be entertaining.
Sure, look, as long as it's somewhat of a friendly rivalry, it doesn't get too heated. That's what hopefully we do want to see crossed as well. And you know, you may be noticing on your screen, folks, as well, that these players are wearing beautiful jerseys at the moment. And the best thing about these beautiful jerseys, Lenny, as I'm sure you'll agree, is you can pick them up for yourself, as you can see on your screen. The COD Ireland jerseys from Spartanwear are live to buy now on Spartanwear. Make sure to go check them out. The home and away jersey designed. Of course, COD Ireland doesn't have a team itself, but it's designed to be able to represent the community. You can wear it at upcoming events where we're hoping to be throughout the year. And of course, a bunch of people who are going to be going over to, I was about to say Dublin Comic Con. Hopefully we'll be there. Spoilers. But going over to Birmingham, going over to the CDL, if you want to kind of rep that you're Irish and you want to be part of the crew, there's those jerseys to buy alongside other little trinkets on the website as well. Hoodies, t-shirts, if you want to check them out. And of course, you can switch out the flag as well. You could have the option to put on the Northern Irish flag, or you have other options as well, such as Shamrock, Harp, whatever it may be. So if you don't feel like repping the tricolour, there's other options there for you to get wearing.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good Christmas stocking filler, you know. Coming up to good present, coming up to the holiday. But yeah, definitely I'll be picking one up. There'll be a crew of us over in Birmingham rocking. We'll be able to spot us, be like a flock of sheep, all rocking the COD Ireland jerseys. I love the design. The design is so clean.
Yeah, I mean, look, they really did put in the effort of putting a great design together. And, you know, yeah, massive shout out to Spartanware and shout out to anyone who decides they want to pick one of these bad boys up. Hopefully we do see more people wear them. You know, the more the merrier, it has to be said. And, you know, speaking of more the merrier, we do have players in the lobby. So we're not going to waste too much more time. We're going to show you guys the maps and the modes that we will be playing in this game. And, of course, also do make sure to let me know if there's any lagging stuff happening on the stream as well, guys, because it's a lot of time. It's the first time I'm running a lot of this stuff. Obviously, you can see new graphics package and the way that we're doing the duo cast and stuff. This is sort of the test run for us, so to speak. So if there's any lagging, any issues, make sure to let us know. And the reason I'm saying that is because things started to freeze in my OBS and I started panicking. But it seems to be holding itself together anyway, as we have our maps lined up for this series.
Yeah, bit of a weird map set, to be honest. We got double Colossus at the end. That's going to be a bit of a bang out if it goes that far. Seems to be one of the more frantic maps. But starting off with Scar Hardpoint, definitely the most tactical map, one of the most preferred maps from the pro scene anyway. Should be a banger. Going into the raid S&D, look, the map has been around for all of our lives pretty much, but still teams are coming up with new ways to play it now in the new game, so I'm excited to see how that goes. Then Overload, look, first Overload cast of the year. A lot of teams are still trying to figure it out, what's the best way to play the mode. I think the mode changes on the map, to be honest. Like it's going to be interesting to see how these teams kind of tackle Overload. But yeah, any opinions on the map set yourself?
Yeah, well, look, I think I really like the map set and the overall that we're getting this year. I think it's, you know, a big step up from Black Ops 6, and I'm just really excited to see how not just all teams playing it, but these teams, as we're getting ready to get into the game number 1, which is going to be, of course, the Scar Hardpoint. One of the maps I would say with the wider lanes, the side's definitely a bit more open, vibrant, beautiful map to say the least, but sometimes not as beautiful to play. You need to be able to control the lanes if you want to come out on top on this map.
Yeah, definitely. And look, the start of this map is gonna dictate how I think the pace is gonna be. I don't know what to expect, to be honest. I don't know how much practice either team has put in. I'm hoping to see some bangers as we're getting started off with Matt on the side of Phntm National. He's going to be taking the top church control, cross map gunfight going straight away, and it's early side control, early point control for Phntm National.
Yeah, Phntm National just trying to get themselves held on, but of course you do have Annex getting themselves broken in. And folks, again, just because of the COD bugs, I didn't actually get the chance to switch the color, so the blue players are actually none other than Annex, and the red are Phntm National. If things seem to even out okay, we will get the color switched between the lobbies, so if there's any just kind of color issues there, to make sure to keep an eye on that. But Det Boyle starting off strong, picking up a nice 2, but Hunter answering back with 2 of his own, trying to push through, but the trades are very much back and forth. It is Annex now getting majority time, but you do have, it has to be said, Phntm getting themselves rotated well for P2.
Yeah, but they had the spawn. They're playing together on this new point, but as I say that, it's number 3. It's Jack. He gets a great kill behind red steps, and just like that, the flip should be in soon enough as the players are getting pushed all the way back on the side of Phntm National to the blue side of the map. It's 3 dead in the feed, and even with the favourable spawn, Phntm National, they can't get it done on the early rotation, but Hunt on time now.
I mean,
just kind of... Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're all good. I was just going to kind of add on to your point there. Is, you know, Annex are looking dangerous to begin with. They're looking like the team to beat already. They've started off with the more momentum, and as you say, you know, Hunter coming off the back of playing a game himself, you know, he is warm. He has had that kind of adrenaline dump and is ready to come flying into this one. But of course, he's not the only one doing well. We're seeing Jack back and forth here. 7-1 to begin with. Overall, fantastic start as they had to break through P2, and broke it through incredibly quickly. Phntm struggling to find a foothold.
Yeah, and he's going to be looking at some streaks now. He's been on this hill the entire time as well, so should be close enough points-wise on a 3 streak. But on the rotation to the new hill, again, it looks like it's going to be Hunter holding down that back block towards the blue area. It's fairly contested early on, can't get the kill underneath playing. It looks like it's going to be some early control finally for Phntm National on a rotation, getting that push all the way back blue. 2 players on the side of Annex Armada. They're choosing to go through mid here, through the cut. Getting some rotational kills. It's not going to happen though. It's a good hold.
Yeah, it's a great line. It's a great line that we're seeing on the screen at the moment. They're holding all the lanes and keeping them pushed back. As you can see, they tried the mid, it didn't work. Now just kind of funneled through the back, but getting a terrific pick there, which might be an avenue to go through. Hunter eventually picking up the trade. He's going to have to try and get the second on the point, but Jaden's locking it down. He is one shot, but he's not out. Hunter going for the push, but Jaden playing it patiently, and it pays off. A player hovering above him, but not getting anywhere near the time. Phntm very disciplined on that point, it has to be said. And now rotating over towards the P4, though. Phntm have actually got the spawn. So you talk about a bit of a turnaround. Shaky first 2 points, but they're gaining a little bit of control on this map.
Yeah, shaky start definitely, but missing some fundamentals. But here you could see they chalked that last 15 seconds. They saw the setup for the new hill as a team, and it's gonna reward them here to get in the first 15 to 20 seconds or so. Kills going back and forth in the feed. The spawn comes in for Annex Armada in the back, and it's all on Jaden, and he can't get it done.
Yeah, Jaden's not happening for him, and you know, I said the break isn't fully through yet. You know, for how advanced Annex are around this point, they're not kind of getting the final nail in the coffin of making sure they're actually getting on the time. Only now they've managed to break in, but with only about 21 seconds left, and even that taken straight back off it. It has to be said, Phntm were doing a great job of making life difficult for this Annex side. Every time they look like they ever break through, they're not able to get, you know, the full amount of time from it. And again, it doesn't matter how well you're slaying out. You got Jax and Bixie, you know, 12 and 6, 11 and 6 respectively. You need to be getting that all important time. And Phntm, it seems to be in the last 2 points that even when Annex have gotten on the time, they've been making their lives really, really difficult, not letting them get clean holds.
Yeah, getting I wouldn't say heavily outslayed, but there's definitely a gap in the kills here. But as you said, the boys on Phntm National just being efficient with their lives. Even if they can't get a 2-piece or trade a kill, they're just making, you know, life hard for the people on time, putting pressure on the objective. And even now, as the favourable spawn again for Annex Armada comes in, it's still just shots in the back. The pinches are coming in from Phntm National, and again, it's only around the 30-second, 40-second mark is where Annex Armada really starting to soak some time. But they're starting to pull off a bit here now as we come to the end of the first rotation of hills. 20 seconds left.
It's, you know, it has to be said, when Annex get a clean rotation, they look incredibly dangerous. I mean, we seen them there get relatively set up in that P5, and Annex Phntm weren't really able to touch them. And, you know, we did see kind of the same happen again for Phntm when they were on P3 and perhaps P4. So seemingly at the moment, both of these teams are really rewarding themselves with getting the spawns. They make the most out of them. They're able to just lock down the points, make them very difficult to challenge. We're not seeing spawn breaks happen, so those rotations are going to be even more vital as this game goes on. But as you said, you know, we've seen Annex have to do a really good job in P1 and P2 already. They just did a good job in P5. I mean, if they can chain those 3 points together well and do it right now, this map is beyond Phntm's reach.
I think so. Just about double the scoreline now for Annex Armada as the second rotation is just kicked off. We're going over to P2 now shortly, and it seems a bit frantic for the boys on Phntm National. The fundamentals are kind of going out the window. Just looking at the rotation, we've only 10 seconds left on P1 and we've no numbers at now. So this should be a free hole again for Annex Armada on the rotation. Just look at that scoreboard. Dangly Balls is 23 and 14 on a 6 streak, on a 7. Doing everything for nearly a minute on time. Doing everything for Annex Armada at the minute.
Yeah, and the KD disparity is starting to make itself really apparent here. I mean, you say 25 and 14, 12 and 14, 20 and 7. Disgusting numbers, whereas look,
well from Jack.
You just have a couple of double legs on the side of Phntm to where they're not getting into this game. Either this isn't their map or it's not going to be their series whatsoever, as Annex, you know, are growing in confidence. Shaky couple of hills, but on the overall, they have kept Phntm pushed back. And dare I say, we're risking maybe a 100-point club here if Annex aren't able to pull themselves back, or excuse me, once again, Phntm, if they're not able to pull themselves back in it.
Yeah, they're getting the scrap hill now on P2 as the rotation should start to come in, but everybody's getting picked off on the way. It's number 4 on the minimap. That's Bixie with a big 2 on rotation. He has playing control for new, and he's going to get the info on all of Phntm National, back church, back green building, whatever you like to call it. Kind of gets a bad timing there. And this, although they have the early rotation, trades are going back and forth. Phntm National, and they'll be eventually cleared out as Basara is picked off. So another clean rotation. Early control for the boys on Annex Armada. Only 30 seconds to play for. Yeah, and this is all Armada at the minute.
Yeah, it looks like this map is all but done. Phntm, they had a phase, they had a moment, but haven't been able to string it together with anything consistently as Annex look to reach the finish line. They are stacked on that point. One last chance for Phntm to break through, but even then it might be in vain. But when Hunter's picking up 3, you're going to get nothing. And this map is going to be done. 250 to 91. The victory going the way of Annex for map 1. What a performance.
A statement map there from our Annex Armada. First hard point of the year, and we get a 100-point club. And Hunter, the wonder sub filling in. I think he had the most time in the game there, just doing everything he can to help the boys on Annex Armada. So a great showing there all around. And that's a bit of a confidence killer now going into the map 2. Hopefully the boys on Phntm National, they're able to regain a bit of composure, go in and make this one close.
Yeah, fingers crossed they are able to do that for themselves. Again, a terrific game to watch overall. And say we'll just come back to the caster screen here because I'm actually trying to update the map mode screen. And, you know, it is, of course, working completely fine for me until actually starting the broadcast. And now is deciding to itself that it wants to be pernickety with the changes. But I think I've got it fixed. I think that's going to be it working. So I'm going to take a Hail Mary here and switch back. And yes, it is. It's working. Annex Armada taking map number 1, 250 to 91. A confident showing, a confident performance to say the least. And with a raid search and destroy up, I think if you're a fan of Phntm National, you're going to be hoping that you're a side that is, you know, that are S&D warriors, because when it comes to the respawn, I'm already not really seeing a route back into this series.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the overload could be mixy. Like again, a lot of teams don't have the most practice on it. It's still early doors. We're only a month in, so there could be, you know, a road there maybe. But I mean, hardpoint, it's definitely got to be Armada's kind of playing ground. But going into the raid S&D, look, it should be an outlet for the boys on National to make their way back into it. It's, as we said, it's a map as old as time, so they've had enough time to, you know, make plays. They could have been making plays on this map in the off season. But
yeah, exactly. I mean, if you were loading up Cold War, you would have had plenty of time to kind of give a gold search and destroy on this. I mean, or take your pick of the games it's ended up being in now. And you know, I've often described it, you know, when I was working the LAN there for Premier Circuit a couple of weeks ago, shout out to those guys as well. Phenomenal what they're doing over in the States for doing LANs for the amateur scene. You know, Raid is one of those maps, I think, if it's in, you have no choice to be good at it because it's such an old map. It's so timeless. It's always going to be around. People are going to want to play it. And because of that, it's not really this outlier map you can avoid or try to use as the map you throw in to kind of play as the wild card. It's going to be there. It's going to be one that everyone has experience on. So you have no choice but to get the reps because you guarantee you're going to have some players out there who are playing back in the original who just, when they load this map up, all of a sudden they're a very different player.
Yeah, definitely. It seems to be the case with a lot of these remastered maps that they bring back. You know, it's like there's a certain contingent within the community that, you know, they'll always have their strats. It'll be their playground to a certain degree. Like these new maps, you're always going to have to learn maps every year. But when a map comes back that's been in 2 or 3 games previous, sometimes, you know, it's hard to break a setup that's 10 years old essentially. But yeah, no, it's good to have these maps coming back. To be honest, it's fun to watch.
Yeah, it really has been fun to watch, and we're going to get loading into the raid search and destroy as well. The B-roll meticulously filmed by myself on sticks with very low dead zones, and I was too lazy to change them. So keeping the camera that steady was mind-numbingly difficult to say the least, but I hope you like the shots I provided for you there. If you ever want any IRL photography, I'm absolutely useless, but if you want in-game B-roll photography, my rates are very, very reasonable. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be getting straight in to this map, number 2, Annex versus Phntm National.
Yeah, and it's Annex on the first offense of the map. They're going to elect to push this A bomb side. Bixie getting quite aggressive here on ring as number 2. That's Hunter carrying bomb. Force blood goes in the way of Annex. That's going to be Matt getting takedown back ring, and the second comes in as well. So this should be a free plant on the A bomb side as it's number 7 Jade, and he's taking a long pinch around bedroom. Let's see what he can get done here in the 1 versus 4.
I mean, you almost take too long, it becomes predictable. They know where to look, and I think when you're not just a man down but a number of men down, this A site becomes so difficult to break. Not really going to get anywhere near getting taken out, and just like that, Of course, we're going to have the bug, folks, with round 1. We're going to have to run that 20 seconds down. But Annex Armada having no problem running this Phntm National site down, and they're pushing on with confidence. And it just has to be said that, you know, I think we're seeing a team, or we're seeing a matchup at the moment with a team who's probably going to make their way into the playoffs, and beyond that, it'll be just how they do on the day, versus a team who, I would already say in this Annex side, I mean, are probably going to be looking to make a run once we get to the playoff stages.
I would imagine so. Definitely one of the stronger roster lineups in Division 2 across both groups. I would expect to see them there as well. But it's still early doors. You know, it's only game day number 1. We could have some upsets. It's a long few weeks. You know, there's a lot can be learned in the first few weeks of a game, I find. There's dangly ball pulling out the sniper. This should be interesting to watch. We haven't seen a sniper in a minute on the COD Ireland channel, so...
Yeah, and you know, we're going to filter our way back to him, because I've just realised the only way I can get to him is with mouse clicks, because for some reason, whatever Codcaster bug is happening, it won't let me switch to number 1 using the key number 1. So, and I know the key works, so another Codcaster issue. But we're going to see Dan with this sniper. And correct me if I'm wrong with the snipers, is it that you're only allowed it for 1 life in the entire game, or is it 2?
Two lives. So it's in a trial period at the minute, but at the minute the way it's run, so if you die twice within the game while it's in your hand, it's gone. So not 2 rounds, but 2 lives. So theoretically you could stay alive with it 1 round, you could put it away, pull it back out another round, and it's a bit of a nightmare to track, but that's how it's being run at the minute.
Yeah, and Jaden going for a swim, ending up sleeping with the fishes there as Annex go 2-0 up. And I just want to take a moment as well, folks, to thank everyone who's been coming in with the follows as well. We had Beaky Cod, Dylan Mack, Elut, Dogged Raw, beautiful. Jay Smith, Maddie Barraclough, and a couple others as well. Bixie coming with the follow a couple of hours ago as well. You know, the channel's been a bit dormant for a while, so really do appreciate everyone coming back, checking out what we're doing here over on COD Ireland. Hopefully the first of many games that we'll be bringing your guys' way over the next month or so for this league season. Hope you all are enjoying what is happening here as we go straight back into round number 3 now. Dan still with the sniper in hand, hasn't died as of yet, and this is the way Annex are playing. Unless something changes, it don't look like they're going to drop many lives.
And the bomb is getting quite aggressive at the ring side. Number 2 and 4 pushing out Laundry. That's Hunter. And that's going to be complete information for Phntm National. They're going to start to wrap back. First kill comes in, and the second and the third, and just like that, it's a full collapse for Annex Armada. What was side control end up getting a bit overzealous towards Laundry. This dangly ball with a massive snipe down top ring. I'll count them out. 1 versus 3.
You know, he's getting fenced into the back of the map here. You would surely think it's only a matter of time before he drops. I mean, if you're in this situation, I mean, do you play your life to keep the sniper? Is that going to be on your mind? Or?
I would, but they know you have it anyway, so it's going to be their prerogative to kind of kill you. Even if it comes down to the last seconds, they're going to do their best. But Dan is killing everything.
Oh, no.
He's gotten 2 in the round. There's only 25 seconds left to play, so...
2 in the round. Now has an AR in hand as well. Pick that up, so, I mean... Could go for... Oh, he doesn't need it.
Dan,
he doesn't need it. Are we seeing an ace? Are we seeing the 1v4? This is a 1v4, right? I'm not tripping when I say that.
This will be a 1v4. He's gone for the bomb. I don't know if he's going to have time. As number 7, Jaden, the last man up for Phntm National. The bottom red. Dan takes a shot. And Dan with the 1v4. Oh, my God.
Oh, that's getting clipped. That's getting clipped. If I ever wanted to clip Farm COD Ireland, now's the time to do it, folks. Make sure to clip that last 60 seconds. Do my work for me. You can't.
Dopamine for Dan right there.
You can't. Listen, free dopamine, terrific for him, but you know, it has to be said as well. To take away credit where credit's not due, he didn't play that particularly expertly. I mean, it was more so, I think, the failure of Phntm to deal with that in that moment. I mean, single Charles playing wide on the lanes, just stack as a 3 on a push and then commit to a lane. He's not going to take out all 3 of you.
But credit to Dan, you know, he waited until the last 20 seconds before he made any sort of info towards the bomb site. So it was a great play in the 1 versus 4. But look, he's keeping it out. He's keeping the sniper out. He still hasn't died, and we're 3 rounds in. So first blood will go the way again of Annex Armada, and this is looking like a bit of a steamroll, to be honest. I don't know what Phntm have to do, but they have to pull something out.
Oh, timing's really unfortunate there. I mean, they've had a mix of things not going their way whilst also being the architects of their own downfall. I mean, that last round, I mean, if you ever needed something to pull you back, it was that, and they didn't get it, and now they are really suffering in what was a game that, you know, going into it, I thought yes, Annex looked like the stronger side, but we could still have a game in our hands. It's now looking like we could be heading to bed within the hour here, folks.
Yeah, this could be a quick stream. I do think there's still fighting left in them. I do think they're clutching at straws at the minute, but they're gonna. It starts with one round. If they can pull something out of the bag here, just to kind of bring back some composure, because look, after that map 1, it's very easy to lose the head, I think. But they need to do something to help themselves here. It's gonna get out of hand, although it already kind of is.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think at this rate, you have to treat it as you say, it's early in the season. You're getting reps, right? You're playing a team who, yes, is better than you, but are they a team that is? It's an insurmountable goal to have a good series against them. I don't think so. So if you're Phntm, you got to kind of take the small victories here, even if it's not going to be a series for you. You just got to try and find something to where you come away from it a better team, right? And drop it to another 3 versus 1 with Dan on the streak of 5. It's not where you want to be, but as you said, at least take a couple of rounds and go into that map 3 trying to find something.
Yeah, that boy with some good shots there gets one.
Oh no,
he's getting chased. It's gonna happen.
Oh
isn't
no,
it? I think. He reads it, but he can't get the kill.
Guys, he's right behind me, isn't he? One of those moments. One of those
the Annex
moments.
boys, they're not playing nice. They're starting to get a bit too confident now. Going for some assassinations, but 5-0 in the S&D, one to close it out. And yeah, Dan still hasn't died, so I don't know what to do anymore, to be honest. Somebody has to nerf the guy. He's getting kills with every gun.
Yeah, and look, one of those situations, it feels like we are seeing the top of Div 2 versus kind of more the bottom end of Div 2, given how the Div has lined up. And yeah, not a showing that you want to see from Phntm. But again, I will say, I think Annex are legitimately a team who is probably going to look to go all the way. And look, from what I know of the rest of the talent in that Division 2, it is definitely in that top probably 3 or 4 teams. So look, will certainly be one of those ones that you look at that you're going to have to beat eventually, but not one to be completely down and out about, you would think. You would hope.
No, definitely. Look, it's with teams like this, it's almost a learning experience. Even if you're getting 6 out 100-point clubs, you have to come back, watch the map after, see how they're playing, seeing how they're setting up, and kind of learn from it. And hopefully that's what this Phntm team does here in both Hardpoint and S&D. We'll see how they perform in the Overload, but definitely a lot of lessons to be learned in this game once they watch it back. But it's 1 versus 2 for Basara to keep his team in the game. Bomb is down just outside red, so he kind of doesn't have any contention towards his A bomb site whatsoever. But he's wrapping the bomb anyway, it looks like, to the B site.
And I mean, the timings aren't going to be nice because even if you get this 1 kill, you're going to have to go straight for the plant, which leaves you open. And to be honest, you've been spotted, and
Jack's gone for it. Jack's gonna do it, and that's an assassination. Round 6-0 smoke for the Annex Armada. He's going into the corner. Turn off the screen. It's over.
The humanity, make it stop. As the pain finally stopping there for Phntm as they find themselves losing that map 6-0 in the end up in what was again another sublimely confident performance by Annex. Phntm in deep trouble now in this series. And yeah, as we go back to the caster screen to yourself and I, it's just it's not what you want to see, is it? Again, it's one of those ones where, again, as we were discussing coming into the series, when you have the luxury of being such a a small league in terms of a community sense, kind of trying to create opportunities for people within the country. You've less teams, less players, which ultimately means unless you're going splitting everyone into their own divisions of 3, there's going to be more of a skill gap, and I think a skill gap is being evidenced here, unfortunately, for this Phntm side, who, at the very least, I hope we're taking it as a learning experience, because they do have a lot to learn, right? If we're to be kind of uber critical about it, you see the way even that 1v2 was played, right? Playing too deep in the spawn for too long, ending up going on that B rotation, but leaving himself not enough time to properly check the corners going in on that rotation. So playing it slow where there's going to be no real present danger, and then having to rush it when the danger is going to be around the site.
Yeah, and look, when you're playing against more, I don't want to say more competent players, I don't want to be rude, but when you're playing against a side like Annex, they're just going to capitalize on any kind of bad timing you give yourself as a player. So look, that's what they did clearly. 6-0, 250 to 91. It's been a steamroll series so far for Annex Armada going into the map 3. Then overload, look, anything can happen in an overload, to be honest. I would expect a similar result, to be quite frank, but look, what's your opinion going into this game 3? Could we have a trio? Do you think the boys are down and out?
It's interesting because I would often say going into map 3 that control acts like such an outlier that it is your opportunity to go in and, if maybe not swing a series, at least take a map, right? But it's so hard to know if overload is one of those ones, or is it a mode where if you're able to slay and keep someone kind of relatively subdued in their spawn, that, you know, it's just going to be a mode that compounds what you've been able to do going up until that point. I've always looked at control as a nice reset point, but overload, I just simply don't know if it's that yet. It could be, and we have to wait and see. But for this Phntm side, that's exactly what they need. They need sort of an opportunity here to at least make something of this series for themselves. And to add in as well, we got to actually give a massive shout out to this Phntm side as well. What is it? I believe 4 teams that Phntm has decided, 4 teams they've decided to cover overall in the COD Ireland League.
2 anyway. I think it's 3 or 4. Look, regardless, it's a whole bunch of lads. And again, look, with lads that returning from last season, it's great to see people coming back game after game, showing support. You know, within the community, everybody's friendly with each other. Everybody knows each other. Plenty of rivalry. But yeah, shout out to Phntm for putting 4 teams in.
Yeah, and look, as I say, just giving the opportunities for these teams to be represented as well. That is the, that's the real important thing. We want to see representation for these teams when they come into play, as we get underway now with map number 3, and hopefully for the side of Phntm, a map where they can maybe make something happen.
Yeah, look, fingers crossed. First blood going in the way of Annex Armada. The colours have changed, so that kind of tripped me out for a sec. But
yes, apologies, I didn't change the colours when the team swapped sides. No, it's been a long time since I've actually had to cast and run a production at the same time, so I'm shaking off a bit of ring rust here.
To make life worse, it's 1-0 in the first 30 seconds for Annex Armada. They have the good side. Many would consider their side here as the good side on this map. So, yeah, if they can get this setup, block out the Phntm National boys into that DP2 spawn, this can get out of hand. But the play has changed to the other side of the map. Plenty of trades back and forth. Looks like it's 2 dead in the feed. Ultimately for Annex Armada, as the ball is getting wrapped through mid. Jaden is there, he reads it. It's a big kill if he can get it, slow down the push, but he's not going to get it done. And that ball's going to get wrapped all the way to the B point. And with this B point, it's a bit of a chokehold. Once you get people kind of set up around the stone area, there's really not a lot you can do.
And, I got to say as well, massive shout out as well to XL88, who threw in a couple of bits there, I believe 80 bits on the overall in the stream. Really do appreciate the support that you are showing the stream there. More followers coming in as well, Umez as well. Massively appreciate all the support. Now the COD Ireland is back. Do we get the COD Ireland challenge to 1,000 followers? Will that actually happen?
I don't think it's
Dead League 1,000 followers.
I don't think it's an outrageous request. We've got a long year of COD ahead of us, plenty of content to be here. So look, we're not going anywhere.
And a terrific COD, I think it has to be said as well.
I think this is one of the better competitive CODs we've had in a very long time. Even this third game mode, I think people were getting bored of control. It's essentially a spawn trap fest at the higher levels, but look, there's a lot more tactics involved in this third game mode. A lot of the maps are great as well, so it's going to be a fun year of COD to watch, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, with the greatest respect here to the side of Phntm, hopefully we'll be seeing slightly more competitive games on the COD Ireland League Season 1 here, because just not one that Phntm National are managing to really get anything from. Of course, trying their best, have things to learn from it, but I mean there's only so much kind of picking through and talking through you can do of what you're watching, which is unfortunately just a side who isn't really up to the task of what this series is presenting this evening. But it's just on top of that though, like Annex are looking really, really good as a side. They look like a dangerous side.
They look practiced, even with the pickup. Hunter coming in, definitely a great player as well. So it's not like it's going to throw off.
I wouldn't go that far now, personally.
Look, he's practiced. He's put the grind in. He's been playing. So it's a good addition regardless. But look, I think if Huds was here, I don't think there'd be much deviation in the score at all. I think we'd get the same result. But look, all of these lads are good players. I wouldn't even necessarily say the Phntm National boys are bad players. It's just there's a lot more, you can see there's a lot more coordination on the map from the side of Annex Armada. A lot more potentially scrims have been played. I don't know. But it's 3-0 early doors. The only kind of caveat here for Armada is that they can only cap at 4-0 here. They can't go higher than that on the good side. So look, there you go, half time in. And you know, just gotten it there from Cotter in the chat as well, that he wants a full cast in a Jamaican accent if COD Ireland hits 1,000 followers. I mean, I would love to maybe try and provide something like that. However, you know, I'd probably end up being racist somehow, I imagine, if I was to do that. And you know, look, you know, I was about to say, you know, if anyone has watched Friends, you know, where Joey in his Jamaican accent says the South will rise again, but you know, I don't think I don't think me saying the South will rise again would exactly be very family friendly for Ireland on the overall. I feel like I get into a bit of trouble for that one. Political?
Yeah, we don't want to get political. You've already been accused in the chat, Lenny, of being political. So
Me?
yeah, you're getting the pelters left, right, and center here. You know,
I ignore those comments.
Well, listen, look, the biggest haters are your biggest fans. Really, that's how I make sure I don't cry myself to sleep at night. But going into the second round now, Phntm National trying not to cry themselves to sleep tonight, as they'll be trying to find at least one cap on this EMP.
It all starts with one.
Yes, exactly. The greatest journeys start with the first step. It's just you need to take the first step. What can I say? It's not currently working out for this national side, but look, all jokes aside, you know, just been a tough series for them that hopefully they, as we've been talking about, they take something from as a learning experience.
And just to look at, you know, some of the performance here, it's kind of even across the side from Armada. There's nobody miles and beyond anyone else. Hunter is 12-5. He's having a good game, but it's an even effort across the board from Armada. There's no overcommitting to balls. People are pushing out the lanes, you know, making a bit of space for the ball carrier. It's just, you know, there's good fundamentals here. And yeah, look, again, it's 5-0 the scoreline. We should... I don't know what the mathematics is. I don't know when it's technically impossible for them to come back, so it probably is, you would argue.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. And you know, what I will say about this series, and again, you know, because everyone, you know, across any league will always have discussions of the skill disparity between divisions, right, and whether or not it is fair. And of course, at times it ends up not being fair. I mean, that's what can we say? There's the only way we could make it fair is to do what 10 divs of groups of 3. You know, everyone playing for just about their entry fee. You know what I mean? Like, and where's the competition in that, right? But
yeah,
it's one of those ones. I mean, you look at the way that Annex Armada are playing right now, and you would think with the disparity, you know, oh, this is a Division 1 team. But we really can't, you know, overstate how stacked this Division 1 is this season. I mean, yeah, we're seeing a great side in Annex. I think the scoreline, again, with the greatest respect to Annex, we'd be seeing this scoreline onto them if they were to be playing in Div 1 with the way some of these teams are set up.
Yeah, look, I mean, there's levels. There really is. Whatever metrics you want to use to determine the scale of a levels team, it's just so apparent once you put a Div 1 team against a Div 2 team. You know, as I said, it's just levels. I think you're right in what you're saying. If we had a Division 1 team going up here, I don't want to discredit Annex and say it would be the same scoreline, because I think, you know, they're a great side. They're one of the better sides in Div 2. But look, the skill disparity, as you're seeing here, would be a lot tighter in Division 2 than Division 1 for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I say I'm really excited to get seeing some of these Division 1 games, and, you know, of course, and seeing, of course, what we have to talk about as well, you know, what Belfast Storm have done, bringing back Dylan COD to the scene, such a massive Irish name.
About time.
You know, or say,
damn time.
You know, coming from the island of Ireland, being back into the scene. I mean, it's literally crazy. You arguably, other than Jerd, you couldn't have pulled back a bigger name, you know, which is everything that we're about, you know, at COD Ireland, what we want to achieve and what we want to bring. But what has been brought here at the end of this map 3 is another complete rout, as we see this Annex side take map number 3. They take it 8-0. Just what can you say?
A great day for the Annex boys. They'll be happy with that performance. But, you know, look, back to the drawing board for Phntm National. It's still early doors, only the first game, plenty of time to, rework what they're doing. But great performance there from the boys on Annex Armada. Absolute smoke show. Not too much to say other than GG's, well played, and big ups to Hunter for picking up, making the game happen as well. So
yeah, I mean, massive thanks to Hunter for filling in. And again, as I say, the scoreline kind of speaks to itself. A rout, a whitewash, to say the very least. An unfortunate one for the side of Phntm, but Annex definitely going to be happy with that. I've just kind of, it's one of those games where for them, they've kind of settled and found out for themselves that in the space of one game that they know they're going to be making the playoffs, and they know that they're probably, at the very least, unless they have a really bad day, are kind of hitting that top 6 of this Division 2 and will be on for a run, right? I mean, it's nice to get a game in, even though you may know people, you want to see what it's like in the moment within the league, establishing what your level is, and ultimately, I correct me if I'm wrong in how we set this up, and it'd be mad if I am wrong, because I literally am involved in the setup process, but it's just the bottom teams from both groups in Div 2 are out, and the rest to go through, or is it the bottom 2 on each side? I can't.
It's the top six. Or I'm the 12-team playoff bracket. So the top six will go through, and then outside of that, unfortunately, will not be at playoffs.
Yeah, so top 6 are going to be going through, and I mean, look, Annex Armada, definitely looking like a team that are going to be able to make their way to that top 6. Arguably a team that's going to be able to make it all the way, and massive congratulations to them in what is sort of a clean-cut win, and a win that's definitely, making a statement to the rest of this division here, showing that these are guys that want to go forward and win it all. Whereas for Phntm National, I think you're looking at a side where unless they make the improvements, unless they make some of the maybe roster changes, of course you wouldn't be advocating for that, because then you're saying you have a player lose their position, and you never want that to happen.
No.
But yeah, I mean, if they're boys that are going to stick together, you love to see it.
Look,
but
these guys have been around for a while. They play, as I said, they played together all of last year, so they know what they're going to have to go back and do. I wouldn't say they're out of it. Look, they can still make a run. There's games they can win in this group for sure. It's just how much effort they want to put in and go ahead and do that. So But look, commiserations to them. Congrats to Annex Armada. Great day out then.
Yeah, fantastic day for them, and I think it's been really fun to come back here and actually be covering games for the COD Ireland League. Again, the league a little bit delayed starting up. We only managed to get started up there on the Monday. We were hoping to have more games to broadcast today. Actually, I got caught in work today, so it ended up working out pretty well that we only had one game at 10 o'clock, because I had originally promised half seven slots, and that was 100% not happening with the way the cookie crumbled today. But again, hopefully we get to cover many more games. Again, for those of you who may not have been here before, last couple of seasons when we ran on Black Ops 6, we're going to try and run a lot of these streams on Thursday, like either Thursday or Wednesdays. We're going to be putting up saying that, we're going to try and cover these slots of games, who wants to play them. But we're going to try and organize it this year as well, wherein if we have the graphics ready and we are free and we know there's a game running, whether, of course, it's Lenny and Hunter covering over on the Flux cast, which I believe, do you do that on a Flux Nation channel, or is that over on the personals, is it, Lenny?
On our personal channels each. Trying to work out a co-streaming situation where you'll have the watch party, but at the minute it's just ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's going to be games covered that way. We're going to try and pick up games here on the channel whenever we can, because this time round, as I said, we were trying to establish certain things within the first year of running, but now kind of into year 2, I feel like we've established what we are, we know what we want to do, and ultimately we just want to have fun with it, right? The most important thing for us is that we get games covered, and if you are there as players, that we get your games covered. So don't be dodging being on the cast. If you want to be on cast, let us know. As you say, if you're in the Discord, always make sure to be pinging, just letting us know when your games are. We'll see if we can get in, we'll see if we can cover, and whether it's just myself, whether I'm with other casters, whether it's Lenny and Hunter over on their cast situation, regardless, we're hoping that across the board we're going to cover far more COD Ireland content this year, and really hone in and focus what is the most important aspect, and an aspect that we're constantly striving to hit is the community aspect. We want it to be a fun place for Irish people to come in, play, sometimes have a close game, sometimes get absolutely decimated and have the crack. Just come in and have the crack with other Irish players.
That's it. At Birmingham, there's gonna be a gang of us, and we wouldn't know each other other than for the community. So look, it's well,
that's what you and me, Lenny. We met in Madrid. That major, and I say even the
friendship.
Yeah, and the Irish presence there was just absolutely phenomenal, and we're hoping it's going to be even more phenomenal in Birmingham, given the closeness. We want to see a lot of Irish people there. And of course, you'll be able to hear an Irish person coming a mile away. But if you want to be seen being an Irish person, then you know what you have to do, ladies and gentlemen. Head over to the Spartanware shop, where you can get both the home and away COD Ireland jerseys. Again, the tricolour on the badge there, but you can swap that out for either a Northern Irish flag or generic symbols such as a shamrock or a harp, whatever it may be. Of course, the design entirely inspired by Celtic heritage all the way through, kind of the Celtic rings all around, the runes writing, and of course on the sides, you'll notice running up the sides is actually Ogham writing, which, you know, ancient Irish, I think actually Celtic stone language.
Detail.
Didn't miss a detail.
Didn't miss a detail.
Yeah, absolutely. Dead right. Didn't miss a detail. We wanted a jersey that was, you know, celebratory of Celtic history, and something that is, you know, uniquely Irish in ways that aren't immediately identifiable to the eye, but then also, you know, the green and white. I mean, we were joking about it around the time we got the design finalized with that white jersey. It was around the time Troy Parrott, you know, made our lives so much better, I think, as Irish football fans. So, you know,
we need a Troy Parrott picture and an Irish jersey. We need to make it happen.
I actually, if anyone knows Troy Parrott and he wants a free jersey, we will send him one of these jerseys. If he's willing to wear it and do a post, make sure to contact him, harass him, even if he doesn't like Call of Duty.
I'd say Troy has good gunny. I'd say Troy plays the game. Who knows? Maybe one day.
Yeah, well, hopefully not too much, or else that would explain why he's out in the Netherlands. But, you know, what am I saying? What am I saying? Look, I'm just being cheeky at that point. But, Lenny, it's been absolutely fantastic. Really happy to be back here, ladies and gentlemen who are watching at home. Thank you so much for watching. We had over 50 of you tuned in at one point for the first one back. That is immaculate. And we hope to see you back again in future. But until then, that's been it from us. Hope you have a good rest of your evening. Anything else to add before we go? We all good? We ready to go?
No, we'll see his next game. Nobody's gonna gun Flux Nation. We're taking it all. No, we're taking it all.
If you want to see Lenny get gunned live on stream, then make sure to be checking out the COD Ireland Twitch right here. Make sure to be following. We'll make sure to cover all his games, just in the hopes that he eats his words that he just said. There's
a donor waiting for me somewhere.
Yeah, it'll happen. It'll happen, and I'll be there. I will be there. But folks, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you soon.
Adios.